Hello everyone, EverCryTCG here. Today I'll be talking about all kinds of Set 2 spoilers, Whispers of Winter spoilers. And I'll be rating them from a scale of 1 to 5. It's like a star rating. I did not design all these cards, so the input I have is actually valid, and I'm probably going to be wrong half the time. So let's dive right into this with our first card, Ice-Sworn Apprentice. So it's a water card, and it's 3 mana for a 200/200 human wizard. Does not look that good so far. However, it has a new mechanic, Frostbite. Whenever this ally deals damage to an ally, put an ice counter on that ally. Allies with ice counters cannot attack, block, or perform abilities. To remove an ice counter, its controller must exhaust the ally. So it basically stops your opponent from having fun. If you put an ice counter on something, they have to wait an entire turn to get rid of it. That's going to be a reoccurring theme, as you will probably notice. This seems like an okay card. It is a common card. So if I saw this in a pack, I wouldn't be too disappointed. But just 200 as a 200/200 for 3, it's not that good. You don't want to be playing this on turn 3, especially against a fire deck, which could probably just like lightning bolt it and kill it. But against air, it seems pretty good, because then they have to attack it with one of their allies, and then the ally gets frozen. So an okay card. I don't think it's going to be too amazing. The way I'll rate things is that 1 is terrible, probably never going to be used. 2 is not that good, could have some potential. 3 is, yeah, it's okay. 4 is, it's pretty good. And 5 is, I don't know what my designers were on, this is broken. I'll rate this a 2-star. It's not breaking the game, and people probably won't be using it for very long. Next card, Frozen Sentinel by Typhoonerim14 did the artwork on this. It is 4 mana for a 200/300 golem with Frostbite. When this ally summon, draw a card for each ice counter in play. And in case you forgot, Frostbite puts ice counters in play. So, to summarize, you're putting a 200/300 into play for 4. Again, not that good. But his ability is what's really key here. You draw a card for each ice counter in play. Now, if you're only using Frostbite allies like never have Battle Fury, so they won't be able to attack the turn they're summoned. So you won't be able to get ice counters that way. So the only way you'll get ice counters is a card upcoming that's coming up pretty soon. Actually, directly after this. And that would be the only real reason you would use this card. I mean, it's pretty good. I'm going to put this at a 3-star. It's definitely better than the last card. I'd probably run Frozen Sentinel instead of Ice-Sworn Apprentice if I was building this ice deck, because it's called Whispers of Winter. Seems pretty good. Not too insane, but okay. Next up, J. Frostwalker, a new ally, not a new ally, a new avatar. In case you guys were wondering, each deck requires an avatar, and this is kind of like your hero power in Hearthstone, or your Vanguard in Cardfight Vanguard. That's basically what avatars are. J. Frostwalker, 1,800 HP. So you're already starting off with less health points than any other avatar. Every other avatar had 2,000, this one has 1,800. His ability reads, pay 2 water mana, exhaust an avatar, and place an ice counter on target ally. Boom. If you're building an ice deck, you need this guy. This guy is the ace of spades. He does everything. That other guy, what is it, Frozen Sentinel, Ice Sentinel, the guy that draws a card for each ice counter in play, and that costs 4 mana. So if you free something, turn 3, free something, and then when you play him, you just drew 2 cards, which is actually pretty insane now that you think about it. And if you read his flavor text, I will start a new age, no fear, no death, no choice. You might recognize that from the trailer. This is the main villain of Set 2. Set 1's main villain was Amelon. And if you guys are curious what happened to the lore, just leave a comment, and I'll do a video on it. But this is the main villain, so if you want to be a total... if you want to be the villain of the series, that's who you become. J. Frostwalker. Really cool. I'll rate it 4 stars. It's a very good card. I'm interested to see where this ice deck is going. And yeah, alright, I feel like that's enough water cards for now. Let's go into a new darkness card, Mad Prophet. It's a 0 attack, 300 health for 2 mana, human. That's complete garbage. But he has an ability called Deprive. If your hand is empty, this ally gains 500 attack and 200 health. Okay, so let me break this down. The new mechanic for the new darkness mechanic is called Deprive, which it does something if there's no cards in hand. If this card is sitting on the field and you discard your hand, it becomes a 500/500, which is pretty good. However, I feel like your opponent would see this card just sitting there doing nothing, and then they would kill it. It only has 300 health, and it has no attack, so it can't counterattack. So I feel like this is just a sitting duck. I feel like this card, the only reason this card will work is that you play it, then get rid of your hand somehow, and then it's good. But otherwise, it's not. You would have to stretch to make this card work, which is why I think I'll rate this card 1 star. Early game, it's terrible. Late game, it's okay. But in the late game, you don't really need I guess a 500/500 isn't bad. But I really think you're discarding your hand, which means you can't play anything next turn. So yeah. Also, as soon as you draw a card, it goes back to being a 0/300. Anyway, the card's crap. Rate it 1 star. Some might think I'm being a bit harsh. I legit think it's not that good. Alright, let's move on to an air card. Now, if you joined Tommy's Discord, like I asked you to, then you would have seen this card leaked ahead of time. Mana Flux, the rare air card. Each player plays the top 3 cards of each mana deck. So you play this turn 3, and then each player is available to 6 mana on turn 4. Seems pretty good. Only reason this card wouldn't be good is that if you were going against Earth. Earth has a bunch of really big and scary stuff, or fire. Against darkness and water, it seems pretty good, because darkness and water doesn't really have big mega spells, although there might be in the new set. But with this, you give yourself mana stones. These mana stones enter unexhausted. You can use them right away, but your opponent also can. So I don't know. I mean, it's a meme card. You would play this card for the memes. Trust me, I know about memes. This card doesn't seem that practical. Unless you really need to accelerate. But then, if you accelerate your mana, then your opponent also accelerates their mana. Doesn't seem that good. I'll rate it 2 star. I mean, it's okay. It's nothing like drop dead amazing. It's okay. But here's something I'm really excited about. Holyhora. 3 mana, double target allies attack until end of turn, and I forgot to add in that is an air spell. Artwork by Spaced. This looks really cool. And also you might notice, whoa, this guy looks different. Why does he have pink hair, white eyes, and white hair? It's a new race called the Vanu. They worship the moon. Don't judge. But let's get past the lore. Double target allies attack until end of turn. The real thing that I feel like cripples this card is that it's until end of turn. It is still really good. Don't get me wrong. If they if you attack their avatar and then they intercept it, then you can play this card and just double their attack out of nowhere and completely obliterate whatever they're blocking with. It seems pretty legit. You would need big allies to begin with, but yeah. I think this has some potential. I'm going to rate this 3-star. I feel like in a tournament, and there's a tournament upcoming in, we're going to live stream it, called the Duelist Cup. I think we actually might use this card, because this card seems pretty good. Speaking of pretty good cards, here's one. Look at this artwork. Dragon Fire Cannon. Oh boy. So, as you could probably, the first thing you see is not only the artwork, but the cost, that it costs 12 mana. That's ridiculously expensive, you might say. But never fear, for this spell costs 1 mana less for each fire spell in your graveyard. Alright, so what's the payoff of all this? Well, perform a 1000 damage attack. For everyone new out there, that basically halves an avatar's health. It, like, 2 of these, you kill someone, like, hands down. If there's an ally that you really need to get rid of, it will completely disintegrate it. This card's insane. Only drawback is that you need to cast fire spells to build up to Dragon Fire Cannon, which should not be too hard if you're a fire deck. But this is definitely going in a fire deck, for sure. You get to, like, lightning bolt your opponent's face twice, fireball an ally, and then Dragon Fire Cannon their face and you win. I feel like that's pretty hysterical, especially when they're playing J and they have less health points. Yeah. This is hilarious. I want to rate it 5-star. Definitely going to use this card. And then the next card we have is Ruju the Iron Bell. So you might notice there's something different about this card. It's a rare. You might notice that the text box, the little mana cost box, and everything else is all yellow or gold. That's because all legendary allies from now on are going to have a gold box. So when you pull it in a pack, it'll be like shining right at you. With legendaries, we're changing the rules a bit. Instead of only having one in play, you can only have one in your deck. You can only have one Ruju the Iron Bell in your deck. Which gives us more flexibility to make our legendaries more powerful and more legendary. Ruju the Iron Bell's ability says, plus 100 fire spell damage, and fire spells cost 1 less. For a 200 attack, 100 HP, Goblin Wizard. So let me break down how insane this card is. First of all of your fire spells deal more damage. So that makes your Thunder Shocks deal 400, your Fireballs deal 600, and your Dragon Fire Cannons doing 1,100. And it makes them cost less. So remember Dragon Fire Cannon, the card that I just talked about? Now all the fire spells you make to fuel Dragon Fire Cannon cost 1 less. And Dragon Fire itself costs 1 less. This card is super memey, or tons of memes you could use this card for. It's pretty hysterical. It's really cheap, it's only 2 mana. So even if you don't draw it in your opening hand, or in the very beginning of the game, later on in the game you could play this card and then start comboing off by Thunder Shock and everything, and yeah, this card will just sow chaos for anyone playing against it. This card is hilarious. I love it. I think it's going to be 5 stars. 5 stars is right up there. This is going in any fire deck. Anything that's using spells is going to use this. So yeah, this is pretty great. And wow, what a way to end that reveal. Leave a comment down below. Do you think these cards are too broken? Do you have your own card design? Go ahead and leave a comment down below. What do you think of the new stuff? Again, is it too broken? I don't think so. I think this is going to be really interesting. There's a couple of archetypes coming up that I think you guys might be interested in. So yeah, check in with you guys next time. Next video is either going to be a homemade TCG meme or another card reveal. I love making these videos. Anyway, Evercry TCG out.